Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mr. King, and I'd like to welcome you to this portion of the website for Mr. King's online American Literature Classroom. This video should help you guys navigate the website and being able to find things really quickly that will help you as you are taking your exciting journey through American literature. This is the first part of the website, so I'm going to go through this very quickly. If you go ahead and you can go back here at any point and kind of go through it. This is the About space. It's going to give you a little bit of a kind of a roadmap to how the website is designed. The materials we're going over in this section is The Great Gatsby, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, and Death of a Salesman. And I think this is really, really important in establishing critical thinking skills, such as annotating, writing, and communicating effectively. And we're going to be using those skills to analyze a particular theme in a novel, play, or poem of the early to mid 20th century text. And I think it's really important that it's a skill that's not just for people that are going to pursue English. I feel like it's important in any field you're going to be going through, so you can actually understand what something is said. And I think this will be really helpful in that. We have also the Common Core. These are basically some particular mastery skills. One thing we're really going to be focusing on is citing strong and thorough textual evidence, demonstrating two or more themes of a central idea of a text. We're going to be doing that 3 times over, as well as analyzing impact of author's choice using tone and mood. And we're also going to be producing clear and coherent writing, so writing effectively. And we're going to be using technology to do that as well. And we're going to be initiating collaborative discussions, one-on-one in groups and or teacher-led. This is a little bit of a section about me. I'm actually originally from Columbus, Mississippi, if you don't recognize that by my accent. I enjoy studying, writing, reading, games, acting, theater, and playing with my pug, and Frenchie. And I'm currently working on my first novel, so be sure to check that out whenever it hits stores. This section is what I think American literature is. And American literature, the summary of it is it's a mixture of philosophies that swirl in a melting pot of binaries and uncertainties. And so be sure to check this particular portion out. It's really kind of interesting of what American literature does within the realm of to the citizens of the country. And one of the things I establish is I think it develops the skill of empathy. And I think it's an important thing in classrooms that we teach. So you're able to see a society that is unfair to some of the its citizens, and it really raises social issues, and I think that's really important. This particular section is called Useful Links, and it will help you guys navigate through the course. It has some really important information, such as stuff that we're going to go over in class, such as literature charts. It's going to help you review plot points, themes, and character analysis of text. And I think it's really important that you understand this, as it lines out the explicit, so we can actually look between the lines of the explicit of what the text is trying to do. There are literary devices. It kind of gives you some definitions of literary jargon, and there are tons and tons of this, so be sure to go over this whenever you can. because we will be using sort of definitions from here. Not all, because that's just insane. There's an article on literary criticism, and there's certain fields of thought that each text goes through. Great Gatsby goes through a ton of this. Prufrock goes through a ton of this, and even Death of a Salesman. And this is just kind of a way to think about a text and what a text is communicating. There's a short little video on how to read a play like a boss. We'll be using this strategy when we are looking at Death of a Salesman, and so we can actually imagine it. It's not Death of a Salesman isn't meant to be read; it is meant to be acted out. So be sure to check that out. There's also grammar and MLA refreshers, which we're going to be going over. MLA format is really important, and that's how we deal with English and writing papers. So we'll be going over that just to make sure that you guys have a mastery on that. As well as English grammar. We're going to be looking at if you have a question about what a linking verb or an adverb, how an adverb works, it could be, and when to use it. This will help you as you're writing your papers. There's also organization tools for group projects. I think one of the most common ones and overlooked ones is Google Docs. It's a common tool that's just wonderful, really. Just be sure to check it out and use it if you're not already. There's also some biographies of authors such as T.S. Eliot, Scott Fitzgerald, and Arthur Miller, which we'll be going over extensively, and certain points of historical references, which are really significant because they influenced Arthur Miller, they influenced Scott Fitzgerald, and they influenced T.S. Eliot, because certain themes of the Roaring Twenties and the Great Depression really impact the works that we are going to be looking at too. All right, so fun stuff. Digital interactives. We've got some literary elements which we're going to be looking at. That's going to start our further analysis of the text, The Great Gatsby and the Death of a Salesman. So after we finish the text, we're going to be set up in small groups, and we're going to complete a digital graphic organizer that focuses on character setting, conflict, and resolution development. This next one is really fun. I like it. So Great Gatsby, you're going to be playing a video game. Yeah, you heard that right. You're going to be playing a video game, and you're going to ascertain certain themes within the novel that are shown in the video game, and what each how it is portrayed. So you're going to do a short little entry in your source journal that describes certain themes or motives you saw in the video game and how it did or did not reflect the spirit of the novel. So I think that's going to be really fun. Pixton is going to be one of the first assignments we're going to be doing. So after you read Prufrock on your own, it's going to be for a homework assignment. You're going to work in small groups after you come home to do a comic book of the poem. And this is really going to get into the discussion of what you think the poem is really intending to be. It's really kind of fun, and I think you're going to have fun with it. And then, of course, there's always Quizlet, which is going to help you understand explicit information within the text, such as setting, conflict, themes, and motives, as well as just making sure you know the material. This portion of the site is called Internet Use, and this is going to go over stuff such as the digital footprint. So I don't know if you've ever gone to a store and you bought shoes, and you come home and you're checking out Facebook or some social media website, and you're seeing on the ad the shoes that you just bought. It's really, really scary, and it's really showing just how technologically invasive we as a society have become. And so this is going to give you a little article about how to reduce your digital footprint online, and making sure that the information you give out is information that you want to get out, that you're okay with getting out. So being sure to check that out. It's a really cool video. There's also plagiarism. This is really a big part of English that we try and really force into your heads not to do it, because it's the intentional act of turning in work that a student claims is their own and wishes to receive credit for. So please don't do it. These are certain tools that can actually protect you against plagiarism, such as citation, making sure that you are giving credit to other people's work in your article, in your research paper, as well as the plagiarism checker, which basically detects unintentional plagiarism. As well, there's also another source called News ELA, which is going to help you guys read informational text and derive information from that. This exercise is going to be an intro to research, and it's called a web size. And we're going to be using examples from The Great Gatsby to learn more about MLA, how to acquire information from a informational website, and using that information to argue a point within The Great Gatsby, and we can apply that to basically any other text as well. So I think it's really important. So be sure to give. So we'll be sure to go on over that later on in this. We have a graphic organizer for our next section. It's going to be used when we're establishing Death of a Salesman mind web. When Death of a Salesman has just so many interesting characters and relationships that I think it's really important that we cover some time over this. So we'll be examining most motivations of the character, the relationship between some of the characters within the play, and how it reflects certain themes within the Death of a Salesman. Now, this is going to be a mind cloud, and so this gives you sort of the instructions of what I'm expecting, as well as how it should become. So it should look sort of something like this. It's going to be the end product of it. And we're going to be able to see those connections, and those connections will help you as you are writing your final research paper if you choose to use, if you tend to use Death of a Salesman. So this is actually a great exercise to do that. For this particular exercise, we're going to be using the tic-tac-toe choice board, and this is going to make sure that you are responsible for completing 3 different tasks as long as you perform tic-tac-toe. So once you are done with each, you're going to press an X, and an X to make sure that you have a tic-tac-toe win. So you're going to be able, and it's going to access your knowledge on Great Gatsby. It's going to access your knowledge on Death of a Salesman. It's going to access your knowledge on Prufrock. And it's going to ask you to do multiple ways to actually present it. So if you're a visual, you can do you can design something. If you're wanting to write, if you're a writer, you're going to be writing something. If you're going to be producing, you're going to be producing like a poem, or even you're going to be doing a short scene. All right. The assessments are really important. We're going to be doing entry level, so this is going to make sure that you guys understand literary devices, and this will show me where exactly you are on the spectrum of learning these stuff such as hyperbole, onomatopoeia, exposition, symbolism, simile, themes, stuff like that. Informative is going to be a common source journal where you're going to be recording 2 passages from the day's reading that you found memorable, and you're going to be just showing me the significance and relationships to that. Summative is going to be your main project. You're going to be using you're going to be using a theme and showing me how compare and contrast between 2 particular works that we've gone over, so you're going to be doing that as a PowerPoint presentation and a paper. You're going to be using, so this is going to be the material for that, so be sure to check that out. And not last but not least is the lecture, which we're going to be going over the symbolism of the Great Gatsby, and we're going to be doing an exercise in annotation and analysis. This is the presentation for my showcase, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.